Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. My name is Dave Little, and we're coming to you live from the Dave Cave with action from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. Going to have to get on and off pretty quick tonight. Got a family Zoom planned in just a little over an hour. But we do have four great matches in store for this evening, including a main event #1 Contenders match for the NWA World Tag Team Championship as the Road Warriors take on the team of the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, TRACY, SMOTHERS, and Tommy Rich. And the winners of that match will head to our next pay-per-view to wrestle for the NWA World Championship against the reigning tag team champions, the Midnight Express. As Jay Randis is here, Carl Zilla is here once again. Welcome back to both of you. Carl Zilla, of course, was kicked out of last week's broadcast after getting involved in some of the matches and throwing a trash can into the ring and a beer bottle that was subsequently used by Jordan Grace in her match against Mickie James. And that led to Carl Zilla being ejected from ringside, kicked out. But he has paid his debt to society and is back in our good graces here in the Heartland. Neil Lau is also joining us here with Lacey Ryan and Moondog Rex, the current Velvet champions. And wow, the dice certainly run hot in Velvet. We've seen Heidi Howitzer as the champion. We've seen, I believe it was Guillermo Rosas who was with Neil last week, and now it is Moondog Rex and Lacey Ryan in the building with Neely Bob. All right, yeah, we got to get rolling. So we will run down the show from the preliminary matches. The show opened with the debut of a brand new tag team here in the AWF, the team of AJ Styles and James Storm from TNA fame. I have not gotten James Storm onto the tabletop yet, and was delighted to see James Storm and AJ Styles in tag team action to open the show against Bobby Heenan family's team of Killer Kowalski and Larry Hennig, and it was AJ Styles getting the pinfall over Killer Kowalski by way of the Styles Clash. After Killer Kowalski ended up getting jabbed in the face with knitting needles that were supplied by Bobby Heenan, but the knitting needles were misdirected, and AJ picked those up and jabbed them into the face of Killer Kowalski. The referee let it go, and AJ took the pinfall victory. The second match brought a very stunning upset. Eric Young with a spike pile driver getting the victory over Lou Thez. Thez had done a lot of damage with his submission moves in that match, but Eric Young took the match out of the ring, turned it into a brawl, slammed Lou Thez stomach first onto the steel security railing, and then picked up the victory with a spike pile driver. Next, we saw the match of the night between Tony Atlas and Tom Jenkins. And after a long back and forth battle, very spirited, very well contested, two powerhouse wrestlers, fan favorites, very respectful battle, finally won by Tony Atlas with the press slam and smash. As a result of those matches, it will be Tony Atlas taking on Eric Young for a #1 Contenders match in the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. And just before we came to air, a wild ending in a tag team match between Bad Company and the Bullet Club team of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers. And it was Bad Company picking up a disqualification victory over the Bullet Club when it was Carl Anderson striking, it was Doc Gallows striking Paul Diamond with a steel chain to earn his team the disqualification. Gallows did appear to suffer an injury in that situation. Carl Anderson immediately grabbed the microphone and demanded a rematch. No, excuse me. It was the winners by disqualification were Bad Company, Tanaka, and Diamond. It was Gallows who used the chain against Paul Diamond. And it was Paul Diamond who suffered the injury in that situation. I just wrote it down wrong. So with that, we are ready to get started with tonight's matches. From the Atlantic Wrestling Federation, the following contest is a singles competition scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. Introducing first out of Sweetwater, Texas, standing at 6'7" and weighing 273 pounds. This is Barry Windham. Barry Windham now, of course, part of the faction known as the Golden Dynasty, with Ted DiBiase and Kurt Hennig and perhaps others to be anointed in the future. Windham broke ranks from his Pro Wrestling Mid-America contract with Jimmy Hart. Not satisfied with the recognition he was getting, and sought greener or as it were golder pastures. As Dave Gardner is here with us and says he can barely hear us. Let me see if I can do a volume adjustment. I'll move the microphone a little closer. Maybe that'll help because I'm on max volume in the OBS. So here's Barry Windham. His opponent out of Humboldt, Iowa, standing at 5'11", weighing 208 pounds. This is Frank GOTCH. So Frank GOTCH set to take on Barry Windham, and hope the volume is better here as we go to action. And it is Barry Windham who will open the match on the offensive. And he is going to go immediately with an attempt at a one-arm body slam. And he connects on the one-arm body slam that puts GOTCH down onto the mat. GOTCH slowly getting to his feet, and Windham catches him right away with a drop kick. Windham staying on the offensive with a series of European uppercuts, keeping GOTCH at bay. And GOTCH now is going to fire back. And he is just going to go right to a thumb to the eye. That is not very nice. But Frank GOTCH is going to fight fire with fire. And now it is GOTCH attempting a flying mare takeover. Gets him over and down to the canvas. GOTCH now in control with a big headbutt. Windham stunned by that. And GOTCH now follows up with a series of punches. He's going to attempt a moonsault here and misses the moonsault. As Windham gets out of the way, and Windham catches GOTCH from behind in a sleeper hold. There will be no submission here. GOTCH's pin roll is only a 1, but that will cost him a point of fatigue, and Barry Windham is now taking control. And it is going to be Windham going now for a big power slam, and down to the canvas goes Frank GOTCH. GOTCH rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on the arena floor, it is Barry Windham who's going to win the brawl on the arena floor with a diving clothesline off of the ring apron that puts GOTCH back down onto the mat. Windham throws him back into the ring and hammers him with a big knee drop. But GOTCH rolls out of the way, gets to his feet, and catches Windham coming in with a big Iowa backdrop. Up over the shoulder and down to the canvas hard. Fireman's carry tight maneuver executed by GOTCH. And now he's going for the GOTCH toe hold. This is a submission move. Submission roll will be 5 or lower, and on a roll of 4, he got him. Wow. Just like that, Frank GOTCH executing the GOTCH toe hold to get the submission win over Barry Windham by way of the GOTCH toe hold. And Windham not off to a very auspicious debut here in the Atlantic Wrestling Federation. So a bit of a quick turnaround there as Frank GOTCH gets the victory. Neely Bob rooting on Frank GOTCH from ringside along with Moondog Rex and Lacey Ryan. And now we are ready for our second matchup of the live broadcast. Good crowd here tonight in the chat room Sunday night. And if Sunday night turns out to be a good time, I may make this a regular time slot instead of the Saturday slot. Let me know what you think, guys. I try to avoid Sundays because it's a big NFL football day, but here we are with 11 folks in the chat room, and that's a very good number for Heartland Championship Wrestling. We thank you all for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a no disqualification grudge match. Scheduled for one fall to a finish. Stemming from an incident that took place 1 month ago in Miami. As there was an attack that took place and a concussion was suffered. I'm quickly doing a little paperwork here as we have an injury in play in this match, a moderate injury. So if you haven't seen the Filsinger injury table, I'll just put it on screen while we're doing this. Injuries in Filsinger games are divided into mild, moderate, and severe, and affects the pin rating, the agility, power, ropes, and turnbuckle, the ring rating, the death jump, and the cage ratings. So Bobo Brazil is coming into this match injured with a concussion. It is a moderate injury, so his pin roll goes up to a 5-2. His agility goes to a +1. His power goes to a -2. His cage goes to a 5. Ropes is worst by 1, so that becomes a C. Turnbuckle is worst by 1, so that becomes a B. Out of the ring is the same, so he will remain a ring A, and that's going to come in handy in this confrontation. And the death jump is also worst by 1, and that will go also to a C. So here's what I do with injuries. I just grab a little sticky note and attach it to the wrestler card with the updated ratings. So Bobo Brazil is coming into this match injured. As Neely Bob tells us in Velvet, when somebody is injured, they get released. That's pretty brutal. You're worse than Vince McMahon. But anyhow, introducing first out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He stands at 6'1" and weighs 319 pounds. This is ANGELO MOSCA. And Mosca's a bad dude. He has concussed Bobo Brazil. He once put Bob Backlund on the shelf for a number of months with a neck injury. And now he has taken his toll on Bobo Brazil, 6'4", 280 pounds, out of Benton Harbor, Michigan. He is coming to the ring, still suffering from the effects of that concussion, but nothing is going to keep him away from getting his hands on ANGELO MOSCA here tonight in Tampa. And away we go. And it is Bobo Brazil winning the opening initiative role. And he comes out with a test of strength. But his strength is weakened. He lost a point of strength, and that gives ANGELO MOSCA the advantage. And MOSCA takes over control here. And MOSCA now with a head twist. Already going to work on the injured head of Bobo Brazil. And now a big leg drop delivered by ANGELO MOSCA. Punishing Bobo. Another big, and now a rake of the face. MOSCA pulling no punches here. And MOSCA now with a big forearm smash. And Bobo Brazil still trying to catch his bearings. And finally sidesteps and attempted stomp. And it is Bobo coming back. He's going to attempt a big elbow smash. This is a choice F maneuver. He will need 9 or lower to hit that. And he hits the elbow smash, and ANGELO MOSCA is stunned. Bobo comes at him again. Another elbow smash attempted, another elbow smash connects. And MOSCA remains stunned. And now the big hammer punch delivered by Bobo Brazil. He is feeling this. Wailing away. And now a big Bobo body slam. Bobo is going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 3 or lower. And on a 4, he almost got him. How about that? Bobo Brazil getting his piece of retribution against Angelo MOSCA. Now choking MOSCA on the ropes. Bobo continuing on the attack. Another big body slam. And now a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes MOSCA. And on a roll of 8, it is a big kick delivered by Bobo Brazil as MOSCA comes off the turnbuckle. Bobo still in control. Another whip to the turnbuckle. And another big kick delivered by Bobo. Trying his best to weaken his bigger opponent. As now he goes with yet another whip to the turnbuckle. Working those turnbuckles hard. And another big kick by Bobo. He is putting the boots to MOSCA in a big way. And here we go again. Another whip into the turnbuckle. And this time it is MOSCA going to reverse that whip into the turnbuckle. And it is MOSCA now with an incredible neck-breaking clothesline. Almost taking the head off of Bobo Brazil with that move. MOSCA now in control. MOSCA goes right to the sleeper. The submission roll here will be 3 or lower. And on a roll of 4, he almost got him. MOSCA holding that sleeper on Bobo Brazil. And MOSCA now with a big backbreaker across the knee. Bobo trying to marshal his resources and get back to his feet as MOSCA comes at him with a leg drop. MOSCA follows that up with a running tackle into the corner, and both men tumble out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And fans, here we go, the moment we have been waiting for. A versus A on the arena floor, and it is Angelo MOSCA winning the first brawl on the arena floor with a diving clothesline off the ring apron, throwing caution to the wind. MOSCA puts Brazil back onto the floor, throws him back into the ring. MOSCA now in control. They're going to stay out of the ring. And this time it is Bobo winning the brawl on the arena floor, dropping MOSCA throat first across the steel security railing. Angelo MOSCA now in trouble. Bobo with a cocoa butt. He's going to go for the cover. And on a roll of snake eyes, he got him. Wow. Bobo Brazil gets the victory after a big cocoa butt after a couple of confrontations on the arena floor. And this is a feud match, and this match did end in doubles. So that means shenanigans will ensue as we go to the Filsinger Games feud table. And if you're not familiar with this, it lives on the back side of the turnbuckle chart. This table is used when a feud match ends in a roll of doubles. You have just won the match, so it is Bobo Brazil who is rolling on this table. And on a roll of 7, Bobo continues his attack on Angelo MOSCA. An ally of the opponent storms the ring to stop you, but it is too late. The damage is done, and this feud is more intense than ever. Opponent is injured for 1 fight card. I don't do the 1 fight card injury. I do my own injury table. And I will quickly throw that up onto the screen. And now you should all be looking at my injury table. I roll a d20 for any injury. And because this was a grudge match situation, I'm going to add 1 to the roll of 20. And the roll is 5. And that means we add 1, make that a 6. And on a roll of 1 to 10, the victim escapes injury. So MOSCA is not injured, but there will be another rematch between these two men. And it will be a specialty match of some sort, perhaps a steel cage or some other specialty match. we will give that a look. But for now, we will head back to our next contest. Let's see, we got that one. Okay, here we go. Got the right settings for the OBS now, and we are ready for our next contest. And this is our championship match of the night. So we'll get the championship dice going here. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a championship match for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. As Mark Ferguson joins us here. Man, it is good to see you. It's been too long. As he got here just in time for the knockout victory by Bobo Brazil with the Cocoa Butt, putting his well-being at risk as he continues to fight the effects of the concussion. But ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. This is a rematch from a title change that took place a number of weeks ago before the Filsinger Cup tournament. This happened in New Orleans at the One Last Ride pay-per-view on September 13th. Did this title change take place? Introducing first the challenger, and he is the former Atlantic Heavyweight Champion out of King's Lynn, England. He is the national treasure, Nick Aldis. And his opponent is your reigning and defending Atlantic Heavyweight champion out of Tampa, Florida, standing at an even 6 feet and weighing 258 pounds. This is Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. So certainly no lack of egos here in this match as the national treasure takes on Mr. Wonderful. As Kathy Evans joins the broadcast. Welcome, Kathy. It's great to have you here. For our championship match, Paul Orndorff comes out with the initiative, and he is going to go right to a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Nick Aldis, and on a roll of 6, that's the drop down. Coming back off the other way, and now it is Orndorff with a running back elbow that stuns Nick Aldis. Barbara Z now joining us at ringside. Welcome, Barbara. And now Orndorff with a series of brutal knee lifts, using his size and strength advantage to punish Nick Aldis. And now a stalling vertical suplex puts Aldis down onto the canvas hard. Orndorff now maintains control with a series of right-hand punches, and finally Aldis is going to fire back. And it is Aldis with a shoulder ram, followed very closely by a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Paul Orndorff, and on a roll of 11. That is a big move executed by Nick Aldis. A big diving elbow smash to Orndorff that puts Orndorff down onto the canvas. Aldis now with a chance to do some damage, and he is going to go right to his submission hold, the King's Lynn Cloverleaf. He may get a submission here on a roll of 4 or lower, and on a roll of 5, Orndorff barely able to claw his way over to the ropes for the hold to be broken. But Aldis making a statement here, and now the Mag Daddy Driver. That is an add 1 move. So Orndorff in some trouble here as Aldis has taken control. And Aldis now with a knee to the back. Orndorff trying to get to his knees, but Aldis is right on him with a bow and arrow submission hold. Very painful move. Orndorff again gasping and trying to get to his feet. But Aldis stays on him with another big diving elbow drop that stuns Paul Orndorff. Another knee to the back, and now Orndorff has gotten to his feet, and Orndorff is going to fire back. And it is Orndorff coming back with an attempt at a power slam. This is a choice D maneuver. Choice D, he will need 8 or lower to hit that, and on a roll of 8, he hits the big power slam, and Nick Aldis is down. Big move by Paul Orndorff to change the momentum. And Orndorff now with a big forearm drop. He goes for the cover. The pin roll here is Snake Eyes, but on a roll of 6, Aldis able to kick out, and the match continues. Orndorff now is going to go up for a death jump. Death jump coming up here by Orndorff. And on a roll of 2, oh my goodness, that's a ref bump. A ref bump has taken place here in Tampa. Down goes the referee. The referee will be out of it for 7 moves. So the referee is down for 7 moves. And it is on an odd roll. Aldis is still down, and Orndorff is going to go for the kill. Orndorff in control now. No referee to count the pinfall. And he goes up for another death jump. And this time he nails Nick Aldis with a beautiful flying cross body block. But there's no referee here to count the pinfall. Orndorff continues on the offensive with a short arm clothesline that stuns Nick Aldis. Orndorff now going to bring a foreign object into the ring. He's going to take the athletic tape and attempts to choke down Nick Aldis with his athletic tape. And we're going to go to a gut check roll here. And again, it is Aldis who is able to avoid getting choked out by the athletic tape. And the match will now continue with Nick Aldis in control. And it is Nick Aldis hitting a big suplex that takes Orndorff down to the canvas. Referee still down. Aldis now has control. Aldis with a diving elbow drop. He got all of that one, but there's no referee here yet to count the pin. So Aldis stays on the offensive with the, he's got him wrapped up in the King's Lid cloverleaf, and there's still no referee available to count the pin. Finally, Orndorff makes his way to the ropes as the referee wakes up, forces the hold to be broken. But Aldis comes up now, and it is Aldis going up for a death jump. And it is Aldis who is caught. Caught coming off the top turnbuckle. Orndorff caught him and throws Orndorff down to the mat. Gosh, this match is chaotic. Orndorff now is in control. A big back suplex. And it is Aldis rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Out to the arena floor we go. Paul Orndorff wins the brawl with an Irish whip into the ring barricade. Aldis crashing hard. Back in the ring, Orndorff. Another short arm clothesline delivered. Aldis taken down to the canvas. Orndorff is on him. Another series of brutal knee lifts as Orndorff continues to deliver the punishment. Orndorff now a running elbow to the head. He follows that up with repeated stomps in the corner. Nick Aldis taking all kinds of punishment here. Orndorff another big elbow to the head. Aldis doing everything he can to maintain his composure as Orndorff hits him with yet another elbow smash. Stomping away on him. Aldis completely on the defensive here. Another elbow to the head, and finally Aldis is able to stagger to his feet. Aldis comes back at him with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Paul Orndorff. And on a roll of 11, that is another big flying knee smash delivered by Nick Aldis. Orndorff is down. Aldis goes back to the Mag Daddy driver. That's another add 1. Orndorff getting to his feet. Aldis with a big superplex. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 7, and on a roll of 6, he got him. Congratulations to Nick Aldis, who regains the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship here tonight in Tampa. They have traded the belt back and forth, Aldis, and really it was the use of that Mag Daddy driver, that add 1 maneuver, that Aldis was able to leverage that into weakening Paul Orndorff enough to set him up for the finish and force the submission here from Orndorff. And the title is back around the waist of this man, the national treasure, Nick Aldis. And Aldis and Orndorff will be headed for a 2 out of 3 falls conclusion to this exciting series of matches. What an exciting match we had tonight. That match had everything. The referee was down for a bit. Action inside the ring and out. Orndorff tried to choke out Aldis with the athletic tape and was unable to do so. Aldis digs deep, rallies, and gets the victory to regain, the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. So that that return match, 2 out of 3 falls, will be something that I do not want to miss. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for your main event of the evening. The following contest is scheduled for 1 fall with a 60-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect. This is a number 1 contenders match for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Introducing first, the reigning tag team champions from Patriot Championship Wrestling. They are accompanied to the ring by their manager, Gary Hart. At a total combined weight of 562 pounds out of Chicago, Illinois, it is Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors. And their opponents are your reigning Atlantic Tag Team Champions. Coming to the ring first out of Springfield, Tennessee. Standing at 6'2", weighing 236 pounds, this is TRACY Smothers. And his tag team partner hails from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Standing at 6'3", weighing 238 pounds, this is Wildfire Tommy Rich, collectively known as the Wild-Eyed Southern Boys. So this should be a good match. The Midnight Express, of course, your reigning NWA World Tag Team Champions. And not only that, but the Midnight Express also won the Filsinger Cup Tag Team Tournament, meaning that they have no contenders. And so the winners of this match will get that title shot. And that match will take place on December the 20th at the next Heartland pay-per-view. Title of that to be announced. We're in negotiations for the title, to the rights to the naming rights for the next pay-per-view. But we have got our competitors here ready to roll. We'll get Gary Hart back on the screen here, or close by, so that he can work his dastardly deeds if necessary. And we're going to use our championship dice for this. This is a match with world championship implications, and it will be Tommy Wildfire Rich starting things off for his team against Road Warrior Animal. And it is the Animal who takes the initiative on the opening and hits Tommy Rich with a big elbow hammer. And Tommy Rich is going to fire right back with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Road Warrior Animal. And on a roll of 7, that's a reversal. It's Rich who's whipped into the turnbuckle. And it is Rich bouncing off the turnbuckle, and Animal just laid him out with a big meat hook. Coming off of the turnbuckle, Rich is down, and Animal's got a chance to do some damage here. Here's a big power slam. He's going to go for the cover right off the bat, and Tommy Rich forced to tag out. And now it is Animal pitching Tommy Rich out of the ring and down to the arena floor, and here we go. on a roll of 11. It is the foreign object roll as Animal goes right to the foreign object. He's got the ring bell. Animal with the ring bell clangs it off the side of the head of Tommy Rich. Will he be disqualified? Maybe. But the referee finally decides to give lenience there. Almost disqualifying Animal, but a stern warning indeed issues. As Animal is in control and Tommy Rich literally and figuratively has had his bell rung. Back in the ring, and now the Road Warriors are going up for the Doomsday device. This is a +4 finisher. TRACY Smothers coming in to try and intervene is unable to do so. So the pin roll here will be 7 or lower, and on a roll of 10, Tommy barely able to kick out. Tommy Wildfire Rich busted open with the ring bell, and now the Doomsday device, and it is Hawk in the ring and in control. And TRACY Smothers desperately wanting to get in to make the tag as Hawk comes in and pitches Tommy Wildfire Rich right out to the arena floor once again. And on the arena floor, it will be Road Warrior Hawk winning the brawl with a backdrop onto the announcer's table. Tommy Rich in all kinds of trouble here. Hawk throws him back into the ring, and Hawk now is going to go up for a death jump. Hawk climbing to the top rope. He's been known to do that, but on a roll of 3, Hawk misfires. And Tommy Wildfire Rich rolls him up. He may score a pinfall here on Snake Eyes, and Hawk just barely got free on a roll of 3. Wow, Hawk very nearly tasted defeat there. As he came off the top rope, Tommy Rich was ready for him, rolled him up, went for the cover, but Tommy could not hold him down. And now Tommy Rich is going for the Thez press. That's also a pinning predicament. The pin roll here is 3, and on a roll of 6, Hawk kicks out again. But now it is a double team opportunity for the Southern boys. We go to the double team chart, and on a roll of 4, it is a devastating double team move executed by Tommy Rich and TRACY Smothers that adds another point of fatigue to Road Warrior Hawk. Hawk at 3 points of fatigue. Animal pacing the ring apron nervously. Gary Hart advising restraint at this point in time as Smothers comes in, and Hawk tries to get out of the ring. TRACY Smothers not going to let that happen. TRACY drags him back into the ring and scores with a looping hand to the side of the head. A big right by TRACY Smothers, and Hawk not able to make the tag. TRACY Smothers now with a chance to do some more damage. He is going to attempt a clothesline. This is a choice F maneuver. Choice F. He will need 6 or lower to hit the clothesline. And on a roll of 10, Hawk powers his way through that attempted clothesline. And Hawk comes back with a gorilla press slam, just drilling TRACY Smothers into the mat. How quickly can these powerhouse Road Warriors change the momentum? And it is now Road Warrior Animal tagging into the match for the first time. TRACY Smothers is down, and Animal is going to go right to the camel clutch. Those great big arms of Animal wrenching back on the neck of TRACY Smothers. Doing all kinds of damage here. TRACY will not be forced to submit, but Animal's going to keep the pressure on with a big shoulder tackle off of the ropes. TRACY down once again, and Animal comes at him with a big back body drop. Smothers lands on his feet. Smothers fires back with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes the Animal, and on a roll of 7, it is a running back elbow delivered by TRACY Smothers that stuns Animal. Smothers now still in control. He's going to go for that clothesline. He needs 8 or lower to hit that, and on a roll of 6, he hits it, but Animal does not budge. JT 2.0 here in the Heartland. Animal now standing his ground, and he's going to grab TRACY Smothers into a great big old bear hug, weakening Smothers. Whip to the rope. Smothers comes off the rope, and Animal nails him with a big running back elbow that stuns TRACY Smothers. Animal follows that up with a big scoop slam, up and down hard to the mat. Here comes Road Warrior Hawk. It's double team time for the Road Warriors. And on a roll of 8, it is a deadly elbow smash. Delivered by Hawk onto Animal. TRACY still stunned by that. As Hawk comes at him now with a big gorilla press slam. Hawk's going to go for the cover. The pin roll here is 3. And on a roll of 4, TRACY Smothers barely gets his foot over the bottom rope. Smothers now in trouble. Hawk looking to do more damage. And Hawk now with a big gut wrench suplex. Taking TRACY Smothers over to the canvas again. TRACY desperately trying to crawl over to Tommy Rich, unable to get there. Animal comes into the ring. It's double team time for the Road Warriors. And it is a bone-crunching double clothesline. You'll not find two guys with bigger arms in the sport of wrestling than Hawk and Animal. And that puts TRACY Smothers down to the canvas hard. Animal now, the Doomsday Device in effect once again. Tommy Rich coming in to try the pin save, unable to get there. Down to the mat hard goes TRACY Smothers after the Doomsday Smash. The pin roll here, 8 or lower, and on a roll of 4, they got him. So the Southern boys did their best, but it just wasn't good enough. As the Doomsday Device delivered by Animal puts an end to this match in favor of the Road Warriors. The Doomsday Device is an awesome move indeed, and tonight TRACY Smothers felt the full brunt of that big move. And Hawk and Animal are your winners in tonight's main event, and they will move on to a title shot at the NWA World Tag Team Championship on December the 20th. You won't want to miss that. Midnight Express, Road Warriors, a legendary rivalry will be renewed. As David Chedzinski is here just in time for the closing. So thank you, David, for tuning in. Thank you for checking us out. Carlzilla, that went about as well as expected for the Southern boys. Indeed, I thought they did better than expected. They had Hawk in trouble there momentarily. But once Hawk turned things around, it was open season on TRACY Smothers, Doomsday Device, and that was all she wrote. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Great crowd here on a Sunday night. I may have to keep that in mind for future reference. Boo from the Velvet Faction, Moondog Rex, and Lacey Ryan, along with Neely Bob, voicing their opinions at ringside as they are able to do in this free nation of America. So Neely Bob, Carlzilla, David Chedzinski, JT 2.0, the greatest JT of them all. Kathy Evans, Barbara Z, Mark Ferguson, thank you for coming by to check us out. Jay Randus, Dave Gardner. Great crowd on hand here tonight for Heartland Championship Wrestling. And Jim Lawrence, just coming in at the close. Great to see you as well. Thank you for your kind words on Facebook this week. As we are just about to sign off, you can catch this replay on YouTube via the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. Thank you one and all for tuning in. That's our stream, and I am out of here.